Okay, hello. So this is the third hymn that we covered last Friday, which was Tenoeh Ensok. Now, as we mentioned during our lesson, our meeting, however you want to label it, Tenoeh Ensok is a beautiful hymn, and it's one of those hymns that differs depending on the time of the year. So what we're learning today is the long tune and the annual tune for Tenoeh Ensok. Now, given that this is being made during the Holy 50 days, this is actually not the tune that you are going to sing Tenoeh and Sok with. You're going to do the festive tune. And for the festive tune, there's actually three versions. There's a long festive, we can have medium festive, and a short festive tune or a quick festive tune. Likewise, for the annual, there's its own tune. So there's many different tunes that we have for Tenoeh and Sok, even more than just the annual and the festive. But for today, we're keeping it basic, just with the theme of what we've been learning. We're going to keep it basic at the annual long tune. Now, when it comes to the annual long tune, you can technically do every single verse of Tenoeh and Sok in the long annual tune. The recordings exist out there, but we don't usually do that. Most of the time, the way you'll see Tenoeh and Sok done is you'll see the first two verses done long tune, then the next two verses done medium tune, and the last two verses done in the short tune. So we're learning the long tune, so we're only going to learn the first two verses in the long tune. And then, God willing, we'll have a video or other content posted and supporting for the medium tune, that you can do the whole hymn in the medium tune. You can do the whole hymn in the short tune. And there's also a long festive tune and a festive tune that, God willing, we'll be able to learn at some point. But today we're just going to be going over the long annual tune for the first two verses. So similar to Audio Ochesf and Esmoe Choice, and a lot of the hymns we've done, there's a lot of repetitive portions. Once you have pretty much these first two sections down, you have the whole hymn down, because this is the exact same as that Hazzat as this. And even in the second section, there's a lot of Hazzat that are actually the same as this. So really, once you have this portion down, you're pretty good for the whole hymn. But we're going to go through the whole hymn, and then we're going to go through it piece by piece. Okay. Now, just a little bit of reflection on Tenoeh and Sok. Obviously, we know it's the Wato Sali for the three saintly youth, right? Which makes sense, given that we start Esmoe choice talking about Ananias, Azarias, and Misail. Now, the words for Tenoeh and Sok, a part of it is coming from the prayer that Azarias is mentioning actually in the midst of the fiery furnace, right? This is coming from the prayers of the three saintly youth while they're in the fiery furnace, right? And we'll notice that the very first lyrics are, "We follow you with all our heart, and we fear you, and we seek your face, O God, do not forsake us," right? So this is a hymn about us trusting in the Lord, right? Trusting in his protection, trusting in his guidance, trusting in his comfort, just the same way that the three saintly youth trusted in the Lord, refused to worship idols, and the Son of God appeared to them and was present among them, comforting them in the midst of the fiery furnace. Okay, so that's what Tenoeh and Sok is. The words are never changing. The only thing that's changing year to year is the tune. Okay, so let's take a look at the whole hymn, and then we'll go through piece by piece. So before I continue, as we know, we have our short notes, medium notes, and long notes. So we're starting with a long note. Short note, and then medium notes. So it's okay, so just as a quick note to remind you of how the note system is working. So it's den o en so o o o o o o o o o chen pe en hiti Ateki, ten ko o ten go oh 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 ti and sa back ho oh 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 f no ti empe ertishi ipinan Allah, oh, God, tate, ekmete, epikis, nemkata, ep asha ai ente bekna ep show is ari ir voithi in Aaron. Okay, so apologies, I messed up here a little bit, but it's okay. Nonetheless, we'll get through each portion. So as you can notice, a lot of repetition is happening in the hymn. Okay, so we'll start right away at the very beginning. Den. Okay, so a lot of short notes. Den. 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 One more time. Den. O en so ok. Okay. Den o en so Okay, so we notice we're kind of a little bit high here. We're starting a little bit high. Then, so you're staying pretty high here. Then, o en so so here you're going so you're starting high and going low, right? So den o en so okay, so let's just practice the o Tenoeh Ensok pretty much part, right? Ten o en so so practice this ending. One more time. ok, right? Oh, 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 oh. Okay, so in total, it's ten, o, en, so, oh, 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 oh. So the o, it's almost like it's jumping around, right? It's got that hop, skip, and a jump type of vibe. O, en, so, oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, so total one more time before we move on to the next portion. Den, o, en, so, oh, 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 oh. The next part is gen, pe, en. Okay, so starting here. Gen, pe, okay, so here's O, en, so, oh, 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 gen, pe, so practice this part, the transition. Gen, pe, so it's going to go high, low, high. Pe, okay. Gen, pe, and a little bit longer, right? So gen, pe, chiti, and then ending high there, right? Gen, pe, okay? So practice just the gen, pen. Gen, pe, okay? Gen, pe, chiti, okay, so chiti, so it's going to go high to low. Chiti, chiti, so practice that part. Chiti, so with the hen pen, gen, pe, chiti, so one more time. Gen, pe, and if you want to start low here to hit the higher notes, that's perfectly fine. So if you go gen, pe, hiti, irf. The irf is the last part that's going to be very high. Hiti, irf. So let's practice the 10. Hiti, if, so what? Te, so it's we'll start from the T. T, if, te. So just practice that part. Te, te, right? So just keep practicing that transition. If, te, okay? So practice the transition. If, te, so these two portions are very similar. They're just ascending or descending. So this part is ascending and this part is descending. So you'll notice it, right? 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 So right? He is Okay, so let's practice it from here. He is erho Right, so erho ho, oh. Right, so ho, pause. Ti, ha, Okay, so we'll practice from the te. Erho, Ticha, Ateki. Okay, so let's practice from the te. Ten, erho, ticha, ateki, So we'll practice this transition, right? So starting from the te. Erho, ticha, ateki. Right, so ateki. So he, Right, so we'll start from that then. Then, erho, ticha, teki, teki. So practice that part. Teki, Teki. So it's descending. Teki. And then it ascends or rises again. So Teki. So this is a long note. It doesn't really seem like that because the way it's written, it seems a little bit shortened, but it's longer than these medium notes, right? It's actually a very long note. So teki So we really want to hold it, right? So teki So you're holding it. So that's where you're seeing the short notes. So tek he Okay, so we'll practice the transition. Teki Tenko Oti Ensa Oti. So notice the Hazzat, the melody, everything is the same as up here. It's just this one transition. Teki. Oh, 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 ten, ko, oh, 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 ti, en, sa, pe, ko, oh, oh, F, no, T, M, P, T, she, Ipinan. And that's the end of the first verse. Okay, so I'm not going to go over these as that too much because they're the same exact as these ones. You're just applying them to different words, so you can re-listen to the audio, right? So we'll practice this one more time. Teki, oh, 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 ten, go, oh, 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 ti, en, sa, peko, F, no, T, M, P, T, she, Ipinan. Now the next verse, exact same as that, as this first one. Allah, right? So Allah, no, it's the same. Right? So Allah, Ari, oh, Nima, an, ka, tate, ekmete, epikis, nemkata, epasha, I, ente, pekna, ep, show, ois, ari, irvoithi, in Aaron. So as you can notice, it's exactly the same as the beginning part, right? So you're just going to go through and listen to it and kind of hear the tune. But once you kind of have these Hazet down, these first two sections, you're pretty much good for the rest of the hymn, right? Because this is the same. You're just applying it to different words, right? It's kind of like when we learned Onishti together. It's the same exact principle. You're just taking Hazet and you're applying it to different verses. Or even when you're learning things like Chenoshot, you're learning maybe one verse, and then that one verse is pretty much going to feed into the rest of the verses. You're just finding out, okay, on which vowel or which consonant am I switching the Hazzat from one to the next, right? So that's all we're really doing here. Okay, but I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope that you found it as a good review or a good lesson. Tenoeh Ensok is not too bad of a hymn. I encourage you to really wrestle with the video, look over it, hear out every part, and really, really enjoy your time learning the hymn because it is a beautiful hymn and something that God willing we'll be able to sing together sometime soon. But thank God if there's anything that you found helpful and if there's anything you'd like to note in terms of comments, suggestions, better ideas, please, please, please let me know. Either message, comment, whatever you need to do to so you get your preference out there to give feedback to guide these lessons the way you'd like them to be guided. But I hope you have an amazing day, and God willing, I'll see you in person soon, or maybe over the Zoom camera soon, or anything like that. But thank you so much.